Voices of Ndi Anambra, our pride, our voice.
Welcome to another amazing episode of Voices of Ndi Anambra, where we get to speak our minds, talk the way it do us. Yes, my name is Uche Chukwu Ebonam. You can call me Jasmine. Today on Voice of Ndi Anambra, we want to take a look at the traffic situation in Anambra State before, where we are, and what we look forward to in achieving the Dubai Taiwan of our dreams in Anambra State. Of course, it's Mr. Governor's dreams, but now our dream like this, it have turned to our dream. So today on the show, what better way to talk about it than to be with someone who is a road user? Person where they cruise the roads, the person where they use the road like me and you, right? And with us today is Nzube Chukwu. Kekwan Nzube.
My sister.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good. My brother, like this now, I'm happy that you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
You're a road user.
Of course.
You enter commercial bus. You enter keke. You enter shuttle. All the, even bicycle self, you use them. Nabi?
Yes.
You use everything.
Of course.
So here today, we want to take a look at the traffic situation of Anambra State. Looking at what ARTMA has been able to achieve. I want to talk about our ARTMA. We're talking about the Anambra Road Traffic Maintenance Agency, ARTMA, right? So, Nzube, before now, kedu kiswe for the traffic situation of Anambra State, being a very big, bustling, busy city?
Of course. Thank you very much. I must commend that man for the changes we are witnessing. Because if you compare what's obtained in the past and what is currently ongoing in Anambra State, the transformation is massive.
So kind of going the past, guys from past to another.
Okay, for me, I live in Onitsha.
Okay.
And I do my business in Onitsha. If you are very conversant with the city, it's a place where business is more or less like a god. So it's always hustling and bustling.
Now, Japan be that too.
Of course, now I want Japan. So in the course of that, you encounter lawlessness. You encounter indiscipline.
Yeah.
As per the road users.
Yeah.
But with the advent of ARTMA, they have done creditably well in ensuring that there is discipline, in ensuring that the rules are kept, the traffic rules are kept to the letter. If you are, and I would want to say this by giving an example also.
Yes.
If you are very conversant with somewhere like Ochanja, the Ochanja axis of Onitsha,
yeah,
you would know before now, that place used to be very chaotic in terms of the traffic. Very chaotic atmosphere you had there. Until ARTMA stepped in, you would have street traders, tricycle operators. They would clog the road, that axis of Onitsha, almost shrinking the road to a half lane, a dual passageway.
So about the dual self.
Of course, it's not really dual, but it's a dual passage.
Yes. Gataka and Gafe.
Yes, Gataka. Thank you very much. So they would clog that road, making traffic very, very, almost impassable until ARTMA came. Now, as we speak, you can sight the roundabout of Onitsha from a very far distance, like the flyover. This was impossible before. I want to use Onitsha because that is the headquarters of lawlessness.
Right? For the state.
The headquarters of, let me not say southeast, because it's a hustling and bustling. It's very busy, very buzzy.
Yeah.
So you encounter lawlessness on the road 24/7. But ARTMA has done well, and I must commend ARTMA because it affected me directly. My ease of doing business, because I'm into small logistics,
Okay.
So movement, I am always on the road. So my experience with ARTMA has been cozy, and I commend the agency. I'm only praying for sustainability because that's the challenge we have in this part of the world.
Okay.
We initiate good policies, but lack the vigor to sustain them.
Okay. Mr. Governor, in assumption of office, promised Dubai, Taiwan, livable, prosperous, mega smart city. Now, do you see these initiatives that ARTMA is carrying out as, part of those steps in Mr. Governor's, manifesto to give us a livable smart city?
Of course. The problem has always been that people crave for infrastructure. They lack the discipline that should go with them. And ARTMA, as far as I'm concerned, as much as I can tell, ARTMA is laying the foundation for those disciplines. You cannot be asking Mr. Governor to give us roads, bridges, when you lack the discipline that should go with those things. So the Dubai-Taiwan vision of Mr. Governor is being facilitated by what ARTMA is doing.
Okay.
My sister is a miracle. I call it the ARTMA miracle. That people, I like to use Onitsha. That's where I live, and that's my experience. Okay. That people can drive and now observe traffic lights.
When they observe, you people are now observing traffic lights.
My sister is. It was almost impossible in the past. I recall the Oka Road traffic light that was installed before the advent of the current ARTMA management.
Okay.
It didn't last up to a month. It was put down.
Traffic light.
I'm telling you, it was uninstalled, probably by hoodlums, because everybody is in a haste. Nobody wants to waste a minute. Everybody was in a haste. And in the course of doing that, you observe all manner of misdemeanors. So I think the vision of the government to give us a Dubai Taiwan, I see it is possible.
Okay.
If only people can align themselves with the reforms ARTMA is driving.
Wow. Hell. So Dubai Taiwan and having obeying traffic rules. When Mr. Governor came into office, we saw ARTMA out there on the road. People hey, na fine na kalia. Egondi ARTMA. I don't know if you ever experienced such.
Yes, I did a couple of times.
A couple of times.
Before the consciousness of it sank in me.
Okay.
So I think I recall it was last year. Myself and my brother, we were headed to Asaba to receive a consignment. The vehicle conveying the consignment broke down on the way. So we needed to go there to see if we could, transload. So, but reaching the Niger Bridge, there was we were held up in a little traffic. It was just forming. We didn't know that a few meters ahead, there were ARTMA officers trying to tow a trailer that actually caused the logjam.
Okay.
So we were trying to meander to see whether we could maneuver.
Yes.
Okay, so, and we got impounded.
Ew.
We got apprehended over what they termed route violation. So we were taken to the office. We received education.
Okay.
It was there that I learned that ARTMA had 12 laws. Yes, because I saw it on their chart. So we got educated as to the do's and don'ts. Okay. But we got penalized too. We paid our fine.
Okay.
The second time was I was headed to Atani Road.
Okay.
So I crossed, I think that was Oga Junction. I crossed the expressway. I was still accosted by they say, what's it called now? Their pedestrian bridge and enforcement team. They said I ignored the use of the pedestrian bridge.
Okay.
So I was taken to the office. I was also educated on the dangers of not making use of the pedestrian bridge. And so I paid a fine of 5,000 too. So ever since then, this thing sank. The problem has always been the city is predominant, Onitsha,
okay,
with people I would say respectfully, without the benefit of education. So some of them don't appreciate some of these things. But I know that with time, we will get there.
At a point, Mr. Governor actually said, Naga akusigodu in these big fines. Like at a point when we hegi anya 50K or so. So Mr. Governor, we able to Diego to around 5,000 naira for penalty, for he made some certain road usage mistakes, and mandated that all roads should be marked in Anambra State before I continue with the
Enforcement.
with
Yeah,
enforcement.
we witnessed that.
So how would you see that kind of movement from Mr. Governor?
Well, we have an economist as a governor.
Yes.
And a man too with the feeling of the people. So I think, yes, he did that. And actually, that last year I told you about, what we paid was 10,000, actually. Yes, it was 10,000 because we left the vehicle we were traveling with. We left the vehicle at the office to go and redeem our consignment, only to come back the next day. So we were charged for demurrage.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was why we paid double of
what
the
you're supposed to
official
pay.
years. So I commend Mr. Governor for doing so. But I think the fine isn't the issue. I think the reason for that penalty, as far as I understand, is to avert a repeat. That's how I see it.
Because you mentioned that they educate you when you come to the office.
I was well educated.
Okay.
So I've been conscious. It's all about having a collective consciousness in the people that these are the do's, these are the don'ts. These are what we should be doing to have the prosperous, green and livable city we dream of.
Yes.
Yes. It begins with our road discipline.
So marking the roads, is it something that you were surprised seeing, knowing the fact that most Anambra roads are not being marked?
Even at that time, my sister, the truth of the matter, people don't understand what is road marking.
Ew.
People only fear ARTMA officers. Yes, I would tell.
Well, they said the fear of ARTMA officers is the beginning of
yes,
wisdom. Good fear.
At that point of road markings, people were being indescribably lawless. One way all over the place. Driving one way. Constituting road obstructions. But anytime you see ARTMA off the road, you see some of these things I'm mentioning now.
Come back.
Yes. So that is why I urged Mr. Governor, because I am directly affected by the positives ARTMA is driving.
Okay.
I can easily move now. The Ochanja I talked about, and some other places, not just there alone.
Yes.
There is free flow of traffic now. So with that, I can easily move about. I can easily convey my deliverables.
I'm talking about Onitsha. Let's move a bit, make I towards Nzube. Of course, then we'll go dualization. And I am how busy the road nowadays, especially during festive periods. Can you the impact if you know all this one way red spots, all these hot areas, then with traffic gridlock, especially during festivities like likes of Ibuku, the likes of Ikulobia, and we're going to fly over there right now. We have Oka don't win any gridlocks during festive periods. Can you kiss where for the judicious use of ARTMA personnel to make sure they decongest the traffic in these areas?
Very commendable, if you ask me. But I would like to situate whatever we say here on Onitsha alone, because that's where I live.
Okay.
That's where I move 24/7. I don't live in Nzube. But I'm sure
but you use those areas.
Yes, I do. But I'm sure ARTMA is extending their reach to those places, because Anambra, the whole of Anambra is getting urbanized.
Yes.
So I believe ARTMA is, I must commend, for now, on a rate of 1 to 10, I'll give ARTMA 8.
Okay.
ARTMA is doing
supposed to bring bear for you.
ARTMA is doing wonderfully well.
Okay.
Very commendable.
So ARTMA being an arm of the government of Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo. Kedu, if you not because of the attitude of whom Mr. Governor is, the body G Abagara, because before now, ARTMA was in existence.
Of course, of
Not be
course.
say they just come.
Of course. That is
Uh-huh.
why everything boils down to leadership.
Okay.
And that is what we are bedeviled with in Black Africa on a wider spectrum. Mr. Governor is a leader par excellence. I don't want to delve into his matter because doing so, people would see me as partisan.
No, talk your mind now. Where we do?
Uh-huh.
Ibu Ndi Anambra.
But as a concerned citizen,
Yes.
Soludo doesn't deserve 8 years. He should
Oh.
spend 16 years.
Okay.
That is how we can solidify what he's doing now. Because I don't know the next person that will come in after him. I pray he doesn't turn everything on its head. Mr. Governor is doing wonderfully well with meager resources. So ARTMA is just the offshoot, more or less, of the person in power. So Mr. Governor is like the mirror.
Yeah.
You cannot afford not to reflect.
So, I put you ARTMA and Ihanalo. Now let's talk about ourselves.
Good.
And you want to put Ndi Anambra.
I was going there.
Monage.
Yes.
What are the things that you are doing gang, that is making this traffic to be jamming every time?
Just indiscipline. In a nutshell, the word is indiscipline. I will still dwell on Onitsha.
Okay.
Because that, like I said, is the headquarters.
In a way, yeah. In a way,
Yes.
in a way, they see.
Yes, what I see. Someone, like a place like Owerri Road, and I still urge the government, even though it's a federal road,
Yes.
I still urge the state to make some interventions,
Okay.
do some, palliative work there. Because the tricycle operators there do constitute nuisance. Citing the potholes on some portions of the road as reason for their one-way driving. I've witnessed accidents.
On that road.
Yes, a couple of times because of the one-way driving going there. So I also urge ARTMA people to pay close attention
To what they're doing there.
Yes, ARTMA should beam their satellites over what is happening there.
Okay.
It is an eyesore.
So, kedu ka anyị nwa bụzi Ndi Anambra ga-esi nyere ndị ARTMA aka?
It is by aligning yourself with what ARTMA is driving, the reforms ARTMA is bringing on board. There's no room for recalcitrance. If ARTMA says if you come to a traffic light, you wait till the light turns green. That is the right thing to do because you can never have the right thing done without doing the right thing. We cannot be craving for development such as witnessed in the Western world when we lack the appetite to do what is right. We must get it right by doing what is right. So I urge Ndi Anambra, my fellow Anambrarians, to just follow as ARTMA leads.
Traffic lights ndị a na-etinyecha ndị mmadụ ana ube ma ARTMA nọrọ ya ma ARTMA anọghị onye ọ na-anya ọ nke ọ na-hazie like wee jewa. How do you see such attitude towards traffic lights installations around the state? People obey when they see ARTMA. Of course, they say the fear of ARTMA is being of wisdom.
Yeah.
But the positive fear will not be negative, positive fear.
Yes.
But when they don't see these officials, even road safety or even VIO or so, you see people, they'll just be doing how they want, especially on Sundays when the officials are not there in some areas around the state. Can you give me for such attitude of Ndebai?
It is wrong, very condemnable, because we should always do our best even when no one is monitoring us. But if you ask me, I think one of the solutions to that malady would be introducing technology to the installment of traffic lights. Yes. I know of places where without even traffic officers, without their presence, they're around there. If you violate the traffic light, the camera there, the CCTV there will just capture your plate numbers. So introduction of, you can go to Abuja and come back, you will get apprehended someday.
Yeah.
So the introduction of technology to the installations of some of these things will help people to behave. And also, continuous enlightenment, sensitization of the masses will help us also. Will help ARTMA to achieve what they are driving.
Are there other reforms you think Mr. Governor should also put in place when it comes to the traffic in the state?
I wouldn't know because I am just a concerned citizen.
Yes.
I'm not ARTMA. I don't work with ARTMA. Neither am I their spokesperson. But I believe with Mr. Governor continuously supporting ARTMA and funding ARTMA, I think ARTMA knows better what to do. Okay?
All right. Okay. Anya Fugo, we have other traffic maintenance agencies. I won't call them maintenance per se, but
management, I think.
Yes. We have the likes of road safety. We have the likes of the police, traffic wardens, and all that. Can you keep for the synergy that they have with ARTMA being the state body for road traffic?
I know they work hand in hand. They work in synergy. I've witnessed a situation in Onitsha where ARTMA personnel, I think the vehicle breakdown constituted what they called obstruction.
Okay.
So they needed to lift the vehicle, but their towing van was busy. So they only lifted the batteries of the trailer and now informed road safety men that now came with their own tow truck to alleviate such congestion. So I think they work in synergy. They work hand in hand. And so should it be.
No, so should it be. We'll go stamp them so that the thing will continue because, like we said earlier, ARTMA Borokita.
The transformation is massive. What we are witnessing now compared to
what
of 10 years in the past.
So we should hug it and accept
embrace it, yes.
Okay.
Totally.
But then, like we said before, Kedu Kaige, near our people that awareness of having an attitudinal change towards some of the transformations of ARTMA because when they guys say otaka yesi with the bite one or otaka yesi with the bite one or unye me barama jidonya me barama jidonya.
The truth of the matter is that coming to that Dubai Taiwan, it is achievable, but it must begin with what we are doing now.
Okay.
I believe also door-to-door information would help, neighbor to neighbor, and TV stations, podcasts like this also help in sensitizing the people as it concerns attitudinal change, like you said.
Yes.
Human being is the most difficult thing to govern. And the Igbo race we are very difficult people. But I believe with the consistency of what ARTMA is doing, if it's sustained, if ARTMA is supported, if ARTMA is well funded, give it time. We'll get there.
Wow. I like your confidence in ARTMA. Like, what is spurring the whole thing? What is giving you this?
I live in Onitsha.
This entire confidence because I don't understand the entire solidification.
I say what I say because
okay.
I'm a first-hand witness.
Okay.
I'm speaking more or less like an ARTMA spokesperson, but I'm not.
You're not.
Okay, so I live in Onitsha and I know what it took me in the past to move from one point to another. It is not. You don't dare now. You don't dare to constitute obstruction. You don't dare to do street trading. If ARTMA catches you, they will fry your ass. So I understand the change that has taken place and is still taking place. And I know it's gradual. Okay. It is gradual. With time, our people will get there.
All right. Thank you so much, Nzube Chuku. It's been Ikweze.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time with you here on the podcast. Bearing your mind as a road user, the changes it has made in your business, has a profit margin increase than what it is to
Why
be before?
not? Of course.
So the entire decongestion and everything, it may go the profit margin increasing.
Of course.
Making you more than a millionaire. Yeah, now, Mr. Governor promised to make 1 million millionaires. So what are we not saying? Is that not part of making a millionaire?
Of course. ARTMA is also helping in that direction.
So that is ease of doing business.
Of course, the ease of doing business.
So that's what I was saying. Yeah, United is Yoshi. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It has been an amazing time.
My pleasure.
Living your experience with you. Even after the penalties and the fine, you got to get yourself aligned with the new vision and as now as your job for
yes.
But kita you change the women from what you said.
Of course.
All right. So your words to Mr. Governor as regards to all these changes happening in the state.
Of course, with great responsibility comes, with great position comes
great
responsibility.
Yeah.
What Mr. Governor is doing, let me not say I'm surprised.
Okay.
He couldn't have done otherwise. If you know the background he's coming from, we were in a Nigeria where it was so difficult. People lacked confidence in putting their monies in the bank until Soludo came on board and brought back that confidence. So what Mr. Governor is doing, if you look at his pedigree, he's a man of par excellence. His performance so far is stellar, and I commend him seriously. And like I said, Soludo is the only politician that deserves a third-term bid. He doesn't need 8 years for the consolidation of what I see happening in Anambra State. I'm not an Afghan. I'm not a politician. So nobody paid me to say what I'm saying.
Okay.
I am just a concerned citizen. Mr. Governor is doing wonderfully well.
Thank you very much.
The beauty of it is doing more with little.
Yes. Without borrowing a dime.
Thank you so much. I was going there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nzube. Thank you. And please, my people, here is always fun, right? Voice of Ndi Anambra is always a fun podcast because this is where you get to bear your mind as Ndi Anambra. So we hear the way they pay you for chest, the way they sweet you for body, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, for liking our page, and please continue to subscribe, continue to like our page, continue to share to your friends so they can be part of this podcast. Give my boy Anambra, why are you looking at me? Better subscribe right now and be on the know of what happens. Thank you once again. My name is Uche Chukwu Ebenam. Have an amazing week ahead of you.
Voices of Ndi Anambra, our pride, our voice.